them because there are faces like this. So if I have permission, I'll bring some photos at the next town hall. If it's so, is it okay? If it's not okay, you know you were here, let me know, and I won't show them. So it's not of anybody in particular, it's just of the crowd, but you may see yourself in there. So I do understand that Alpenglow is a bit of a different name. It's growing on the staff a little bit. And I had never heard of Alpenglow, even though I'm an outdoorsy person. In August, I was at Grand Teton National Park and I actually climbed a mountain. It was, it's a tough one. And as I was driving back, as I crossed into the state of Idaho, and the first street that I saw was Alpenglow Street. And I thought, the word really does exist. And it's in a beautiful location with the Grand Teton complex of mountains. So anyway, it's growing on the staff. And it's different, I get it. Prickly Pear is our casual dining. We hope that you've had a chance. We had a couple of promotional lunches where we featured some bar food, some of our small plates. And they're not necessarily small. They are a full meal, but we still refer to them as small plates. So there's 4 different ones. We had sample of that food. So, and this was named by residents. Once again, I've mentioned this before, and we'll have some prizes here for. We have several winners. We thought we maybe would have 1 winner or 2 names would come back. I think there's 15 who wanted Prickly Pear. So maybe there was a meeting somewhere, maybe. And then finally, we have the bar at Grey Hawk, which is our new bar space. We hope that you enjoy that. And we'll try to do some events there that might be fun. I'm hearing Super Bowl might be of interest. There's a television in there, and we'll use it occasionally. So some features. So we have 30% more seating capacity in casual dining. As you know, we've removed some of the double doors that went to the patio, and we've replaced them with windows. So now we can put tables there. And we felt like we had too many exit doors that were not needed per code, and it was maybe a design that we could change so that we could accommodate more diners. And so we did that. Also with the bar being relocated, that's additional seating. And also we took a small portion of the main dining room and we added to the Prickly Pear. So, all right, we have new menus as well. I hope you've had a chance to look at those. We did some tours early last week, and I know we had those available. We hope you enjoyed the new food and so on. So same hours of operation, at least that's the objective. I have some more slides on this today, more to come on that. It's taking a minute for a reaction. I have some before and after photos, all right, just so we can see the difference. So this was one of the far corners of Desert Vista dining room, DVDR, and this is after. This is the exact same space and just a little bit maybe of angle change there. It's hard to get the perfect angle, but so quite a bit of change. Everything new, new acoustic panels, new lighting, a lot more lighting as I think you've experienced. A lot of electrical work. So this was the men's restroom and what was the private dining room. And this is the new after. So this was one of the quote unquote hack that we used to gain some seating capacity that we had lost to the casual dining in the main dining room. We're using now the space that was enclosed just for regular seating. And as you can see here, what I was discussing is we had double doors here. Now we have a large window. I think a nice row of seating there. So that was the cafe, just a shot from the front. And this is the new casual dining, prickly pear. We're still missing, some walls look a little sterile still, where we have the final artwork that has arrived. So we still have several pieces that need to go up on the walls. So this was a shot taken. This was the former bar. You see the former colors, which I think it had aged quite a bit. And this is the new. We apologize for the boxes here. We took we took this just before we opened. No coffee yet. So this is the piano foyer. That is now the bar. So this is the new. And these are obviously real photos, not renderings. We have some more light. We've added lighting, I think, right here and right here. There's a few more. Not all the lights are on here. And here's another before photo and an after photo. All right. So, oh yeah, I had a question from a few of you. They wanted me to show how close did we get to the renderings. And I think that this is still a work in progress. We have 4 bar stools, as I've explained. I think I'm not going to repeat this, but we're expecting 2 more. So it's hard to take an exact close picture, but this is the rendering. And this is the real as you exit here. All right. This is the extension to the casual dining, prickly pear, and this is the actual. It's fairly close. And then the shot of the dining room here. And this is the actual. So as I mentioned, we had a vendor for these decorative screens that unfortunately went bankrupt during the remodel. So we had to change plans and pivot very quickly with these types of screens. So I have a little video. It's about a minute and a half, just taking us through the remodel. If I can get it to work. All right. Hope you enjoy that. Some memories. We'll keep that video and, maybe we'll leave it on touchdown for the generations, right? So, okay. All right. So welcome back. We have our servers for the past, I want to say almost 4 to 6 weeks have been training really hard, and they have new uniforms, are very proud of working these dining venues, restaurants. So this is Nicole on the left and Nolan on the right. So they wanted to be our supermodels for this photo. So, and they're great. We love them both and all of our servers. So, all right, let's move on to finances. So I have here, and the most fun discussions is about money. I'll try to keep it lively for you, and hopefully we can understand the spreadsheet here. Thank you, Michelle, who has prepared this version for us to try to make it as easy to understand. So what we have here is as of September 30th. All right, so we're still in the fourth quarter. We're not finished, and at my next town hall, we'll look at all the finances of 2023. So in independent living, so the first column is the actual numbers, so how we've performed as of September 30th. And on the middle column, you have what we had budgeted. And then the column on the right is the difference between the two. And the red is usually a negative variance, and the black is a positive variance, all right? So as you can see in independent living monthly fees, a little bit behind on the year. And for care center, a little bit more ahead in terms of revenue. So there's explanations for this, and obviously the care center has had great performance this year. Some of the negative variance from independent living can be attributed to several things. One of them, the flow didn't work according to what we have budgeted, but also we've had a higher number of transfers to the care center as well. So you have to understand that when the revenue disappears from independent living, it goes to the care center, and that explains some of the positive variance, which is pretty high in the care center. Now for care center, there's other factors as well. We've had a little bit higher census than we had anticipated, which is a good thing. It's extra revenue, so the Medicare revenue, the private pay revenue as well. And I've already discussed the life care revenue as well when a resident moves from IL to the care center. So overall on revenue, we have some other service revenue here, which is, guest suites or, some minor items, but they're included in those lines. So overall on the revenue, we're very close to budget. A variance, it's a positive variance of $296,000. On expenses, so the total operating expenses, so this is cost of food, labor, so all your big ticket items that allows us to operate the community. We were once again very close to budget. Positive by little over $89,000, as you can see those numbers. So a budget of an actual of 16.9 and total of 17 million. So we're not done here. Usually the fourth quarter, there are some adjustments. For instance, we have marketing costs that accumulate over the course of the year, and we work in partnership with our corporate office, and some of these expenses are taken in the fourth quarter. So we should have a little bit higher expenses in the fourth quarter. And I don't know how that number will end, but we'll probably be closer to zero. The non-operating expenses, these are things that are a little bit more stable, like insurance and things of the sort. So things that we do need them to operate the community, but are not an operating expense. So total expenses were about 73,000 positive on a budget of 18.6 million. So operating income is right here, 369, We have a few other things to account for. This is the contributions to CIRR. So this is the capital reserve budget. So this is what allows us to do projects like the remodels or other capital projects that I'm going to discuss today a little bit later in the presentation. So it's a bit of a negative variance. And the reason for this is that we ended up having a little bit more revenue than planned. So the CIRR contribution was 5.2%, a little bit higher than what we had budgeted. It's a good thing in the end. So currently we sit with a surplus, not a bit. So I've summarized it here, and then I've had several recommendations on how to present this. So I want to go through each question. All right, so we'll go through each of them. And I'm also most likely going to prepare a document that can be consulted in the Information Center for later review. So the participation score, which is important, went up for Via Greyhawk and also Via as a company. The engagement score, which is the important score, did go down some. And we're going to see, I'll go through each of the questions and you'll see what I mean. The survey as a whole was a good survey. We'll look at each of the questions and scores are inching up. Sadly, we have 3 scores. One in particular that really hurt the rest of the survey, and that's culinary. So we'll take a look at this in detail, and I think sadly the timing of the survey, after being shut down for 4 months or so, having the to-goes with some execution errors, I think it worked us up a little bit. It's been difficult. So I think we've turned a corner since then, but we'll go through these. Also, the value question came down as well. And we do a lot of comments on the fees raised last year, in addition to shutting dining rooms, doing to-goes. And so unfortunately, the accumulation of these, I think, lowered the value score. And then finally, the management question, this is not only at Via Greyhawk, but this was seen company-wide, a lot of comments on the access event. And, you know, I think I hope we're past this. And I hope, once again, people who would have been directly affected, you should have been contacted by me directly. So I hope we've moved on. This was a new thing for the company. I do agree, and I think the company leadership agrees that maybe not all responses were given timely and not everything was handled perfectly. I'll take questions at the end if that's okay. I'm sorry, that is the computer, when our computers were hacked in March. My apologies. Thank you. Thank you very much. So not all communications maybe were timely, and we've seen this in the comments under management. So our participation rate was fantastic. The engagement score went down from 71% to 62%. We're not the only one of the V communities who've scored a little bit lower, but I'm encouraged as to why that is. And hopefully we're going to be turning a corner here. So let's go through each of the questions. I'm going to try to move here because there was requests from committees. And so I do want to consider this. So we'll go through each of the questions, statements, and you will see. So how would you rate the care you received? So here's how it works. The purple line here is Via Greyhawk. The green line, we're comparing to V as a whole, as a company. So the 10 communities, all right? So when you look at this overall satisfaction score of care, and by the way, this is not for the care center, this is organization-wide, all right? So I think the community is doing very well. In recommending this facility to your friends and family, how would you rate it overall? 79%, 85 for V. All right. So a little bit below the company, but as you can see, these scores are fairly close. How would you rate the staff? 79%, 84 for V. And overall, how would you rate the food? Now that's where we slip. We own it, we hear it. All right. So it's a bit of a crushing score. So this is not going unnoticed. All right. All right, let's look at more questions. So the dining staff usually fare very well at V, 93%, 94 for V overall. The dining staff service is prompt, 75% with a 70. Once again, very typical scores that we see here. Now we had additional questions on food in the survey, and there is no escape from that food. It remains low. All right, 32% for variety, quality 26%. There is a gap here, and we need to work on this. Moving on to personal care. So these are care center questions. 94% right on with the company. These are very high scores for CNA care. 81%, a little bit behind here, but still great scores. LPN, LVN, or RN, a little bit of a slip here, still good scores, but the company as a whole is doing a little bit better, so we're watching this. Now, interestingly, there is something that comes with this, and I'm coming to this in just a minute, so more on this. Okay, let's look at the departmental questions. You will see here, I'm going to go a little bit faster. 89% for accounting, great score. Maintenance, right on the money with our averages. Housekeeping, 83%, a little bit above. Wellness center, if you recall, wellness was one of our area of focus last year. So we had 64%. And we've brought this up to 81 with a 78 as of the overall. So good performance there. Thank you to our wellness folks. And we've added services there as well. We do have, as you probably all know, a nurse practitioner now that can do the equivalent of a doctor's visit in your home. So this was definitely a very good move for the community. Lifestyle activities are of interest to me, are available, or I feel empowered to create my own. Good scores here. Lifestyle activities works for me, 69% to a 67, so good score. Transportation remains lower. And so we're still looking at this. The goal last year was to try to educate residents as to what the service is. In the comments are, we want more. And so we're going to take a good look at this because I want to bring this up. Of course, when you want more, we all have to understand there's cost, and that's borne by residents. So I think we're going to have conversations, more of those with committees, and I think we can come up to what is right for VA Greyhawk to add services, meaning more transportation without breaking the bank. All right. Anecdotally, our friends at Silverstone, Renee had a meeting today with his counterpart at Silverstone who find themselves sort of in the same situation with the transportation. So we continue to look at this. Safety at the location, VA Greyhawk has done well here. Feels like home. 78% to 76. The management question is what I was referring to, slipped a little bit, a lot of comments on the access event, and just the V score has gone down also by a few points this past year. This is the value question I was referring to. So this has come down. we do understand we raised the fees, and then we embarked on a pretty big project. We took away the dining rooms, and not everything was perfect. So it's been difficult, but I do think that over the years, the value will be noticed by the residents here. I do believe so. So there's no comparison here. These are questions. I think they're via Greyhawk only. I'm still trying to find out why we don't have a comparison on those. Concierge. Wow, you love these concierge, do you? And they are great. They're phenomenal. They do great work for us. Satisfied with the responsiveness to my maintenance requests. That's a good score at 79. Lifestyle, 78. This living well satisfaction. The quality of rehab services, and we do understand not everybody is using rehab services, but we do want to know how they do as a contractor for us. That's a pretty good score. And it is another food question. Over the last year, positive progress has been made related to dining in the community. It's a wonder why we're still alive. All right, so hopefully we're turning a corner with food in the community. We have new menus, we have new venues, and this does not fall on deaf ears. So one very important score is the how you would refer via Greyhawk to your friends. We're at 79%. And it's a pretty good score. It's right on company averages. And also, if you look at the industry, which this program really gives us a lot of options to look at things. This is well above industry averages. So thank you. We'll do some, I have a sales slide here coming up, and some of your references have allowed us once again this year to beat our sales goals. I have a slide on that. All right, so immediate takeaways for me: accelerate culinary fix, pay attention to nursing, and continue to remodel as planned. There's no question on this, but we do have some feedback from residents who say, Yannick, it's time to remodel. I know. I want to go faster than maybe I should. I have some slides on the phase 2 here coming up. So we are not done with the remodeling. I heard a couple of residents, and I totally agree, after we reopened the restaurants, who've said, wow, you really see the contrast of the new and the older now. And that's true. So that's why we're going to want to move with some swiftness here into corridors and lobby next year. All right, so I think you've received my letter yesterday. We do have transition in the kitchen. And so we are looking for new personnel there, refer to my letter. But in order to help with this transition, we have to modify service slightly. So we hope you will bear with us. We have reopened lunch in Alpenglow, but we're gonna have to hold on a little longer. We just don't have the bandwidth with the newly opened position, all right? So we're gonna suspend this. Reservations that have been made starting tomorrow, we'll have to use on the prickly pear, all right? We have, Willow is here, and I know she's tickled to go back to her office because she's doing recruiting today nonstop for culinary help. You may see a few less dessert options temporarily, all right? And for those who still want to benefit from some Alpenglow, we will do to-goes only from Alpenglow, from that menu, all right? So no to-goes for lunch from Prickly Pear. We appreciate your patience here as we make these changes. All right, well, I told you that the survey was bad for food, but otherwise pretty good scores. We got picked up immediately by US World News for 2 awards. Number 1, so this came out a little bit before November 14th, and they didn't want us to announce because it was not, they want to do the news release themselves. So I didn't talk about it, but on November 14th, it was announced that we did receive Best Nursing Homes from US World Report, however you say it, Long-Term Care 2024, and also Short-Term Rehabilitation 2024. So yes, yeah, they're back there. Our care center leaders, good work. So when we continue, for the sake of time, I had to cut some kudos there from families from our care center. I know we have a few of our care center residents here who continue to be happy about the care, and we do want to continue enhancing that. So great work there. Some testimonials from the survey. Once again, great feedback that we've received with this survey. Via Greyhawk is a great place to retire. This is mostly because of the other wonderful people of similar background who are welcoming and always helping each other. You contemporaries make you feel at home from day one. Kudos to you. We bond with each other, and there's always a neighbor nearby if you need assistance or support. And then retirement is not the end, but more like a discovery of new beginnings. Via Greyhawk offers a perfect lifestyle to explore new opportunities. So thank you once again for taking the survey. We value the feedback. All right, capital projects. I'm gonna fly through some photos here. I want to show you what we've done. It's been an extremely busy year, especially during the remodel. At one point, we had half the kitchen that was shut down, a lot going on. So the fire panel components replacement, Robert, we're doing this second week of December. Second week of December. So these are essential fire safety instruments that we have, and it's time to start replacing those as they've had a full life. I have some photos of some asphalt replacement. Help me out here, dates on that. Okay, so we're starting right after the new year here, so that will be a carryover for 24. The kitchen dish pit, so we took advantage of timing here. I still believe that while it impaired us and added to the frustration, we don't have to close the kitchen next year. So I just feel like it was the right move. Good. Care center corridors, I've shown pictures of that, so that is finished. Also, I have some photos finally of that famous dehumidification unit. Oh, that's hard to say for me, in the pool, and also the main sewer line in Alpenglow that we opportunistically replaced. This was a fairly large project. We would have had to close the dining room for that for probably 2 to 3 weeks. So we did it during the remodel. So I have some photos here. Here's the dish pit. These are the old tiles. It became very difficult to maintain, grout issues and all. I know that this doesn't look great. I get that, right? This was the dish pit. So it was time, and I'm glad we did it. You'll see the progression here. So here's, the old wall covers that were removed. So this cover here is what they use to utilize in dish pit areas. Now we use stainless steel entirely. So we have stainless steel there, which adds protection and safety as well. So you see the numerous holes here. I had staff telling me, Yannick, this is no longer working. And so we fit it in the project. And so here's some photos with the tiles removed. It's hard to see the stainless steel. They kept it covered with this plastic protector until we reopened. So Here's another photo here. This is the new flooring that we're utilizing. It's no longer a tile with grout. So it's a lot more durable. It's anti-slippery. It just makes sense for a kitchen. So we have about a third of the kitchen done. We have another 2/3 to do with minor disruption that will occur in the future. So I'm glad we've started. This is the pool area. Limited photos here. This is the dehumidification unit. Here it is. So this is what, for those who are newer at the community, there's a lot of condensation in the pool, and it caused some windows to be foggy and so on. So far so good. I think it's working well. We still have the winter to go through. We'll see how well the unit works. But this is on the roof now, and that's what's taking care of all the extra humidity. Deteriorating asphalt around the campus. So we're going to start to repair some of these areas. You will see some construction workers. Please, we do ask that you be safe and patient if they block the road for 10 seconds, but there will be no significant, at least there will be signage if there's anything significant. A little closer, you see the aggregate showing here, it's time, and a lot of patches that just need to be redone. All right, so this is more capital projects for 24. The elevators. I know. There's a lot to do, but we'll do it, right? We have to. So elevators 1 and 2 are in the lobby. They will be out of commission for a few weeks, but we will have the stairs. We'll have all the other elevators. What this does really is that it allows us to extend the life of some of our elevators, prevent major disruption in the community. We'll save some of these older parts that we can still use and fix the other ones to give us some time. The goal is less disruption because there's enough as is. Another large project would be the roof coating and replacement. This is coming up in the first quarter of next year in the B wing. This is where we're going to start. I have photos. We discussed this already. The distributed antenna system. So this is the what will allow for better cell phone reception with the various carriers in the community. It was supposed to be done this year with the computer hack access event. It's put things off track for the year, so we're going to be doing that next year. And then also at the front of the community, the porte cochere beams need to be replaced. I have some photos of that here. So here's some of the deterioration of some of these beams here. It's time to replace those. Here's some more. You can see lift here on that top layer. Here's some more deterioration. Nice photo, Robert. This, the angle and the blur. I couldn't do that. That's great. This is some of the B wing roof reconstruction that will be occurring. So you see some patches, there's some issues there. It's time to get it redone. By the way, we do have a contractor, a roof contractor who's been taking care of our roof for a long time. They actually, and I'm serious when I say that, they want to do a case study of how the roof was so well managed for so many years. We've extended the life of this roof and it still looks great. We really only have the B wing currently that needs a reconstruction. The other areas of the roof are still looking great, but more to come on roof. Once again, the approach here is not to paralyze campus for 3 months and do it all at once, but to try to be sectional and be opportunistic about where to go so that it bothers residents the least. But on this one, there is going to be some detours. There are going to be large equipment as well. So, but it's got to get done. There's some more photos here of some critical areas. You can see in other areas, we're still looking great. All right, really quick, 5 minutes here. Phase 2. We are in design development, and I really want to move with the corridors in the lobby. We still are not certain if we can do both corridors and lobby next year, but I want to start, and I'm trying, I'm a pest to my peers in design. I really want this moving. Misha is here today, our corporate designer, and she's meeting with RSP, who is the local design firm that has helped us with the new dining venues here. So let's go quickly. Desert Breeze, I've shown this before, colors and thematics that we see in the restaurants currently. So this is really for lobby. The theme is the bird's eye view. It's just, these are just inspirations, right? It's very early into the design, but the rotunda gives the impression of a bird's eye view, either if you look up or if you look down. So some of the thematics here are shown on these photos. Very, very early schematics of floor plans here for different seating arrangements and also lobby. This came out, we have a lot of ideas for the lobby about how to improve the room of the lobby. So here, this is the front desk, just to orient. So there's two photos. Let me explain. There's two here. Let's take the left side. This is the rotunda. I'm going too fast, am I? Apologies. So this is the rotunda, the pillars, elevators. This is the acacia room, information center, and so on, library. So this is a new seating arrangement here. Now, if you move to the right, you have the elevators. This is the entrance here. So a lot of this is still in discussion here. So what we're going to be doing with this. So a lot of change, a lot of discussion. We want to give the feel of more room in our lobby. It feels small, and so we're working on solutions here. So these are entry concepts. I'm going to go quickly. We're keeping the millwork that we have. There's some popular items also per many requests that we're going to be keeping, but this gives you an idea of some design concepts. There's some more here with that bird's eye view, which is, this will be nowhere, it's just an idea. All right. More concepts here for the seating areas. Very early. There will probably not be an orange couch, I can tell you that. All right. Just ideas, concepts of textures and general images, very initial. Corridors. Once again, the desert concept, the breeze. They're going with an aloe blooms in the canyon, right? So thematics on patterns that we would see in those corridors. Carpet ideas, this is very preliminary, all right? We have not selected carpets, but this gives you a sense here of how things may look still in development. Here's some, these are not official renderings, just once again, Photoshop ideas in a quick computer program that gives an idea on the thematic of patterns, potential colors, and so on. Corridors, lighting, sconces, colors, and so on. Elevator lobbies. So what, we have a lot of the elevator areas, let's call them that. So here's just some ideas of shapes and chairs and so on. Last thing. That's a problem, especially with the holidays coming. We have a lot of packages. And so we've been working in the past, and I've worked with Jason on this and a few other, Robert's been great to help too, to prepare this small ante-room that we have as an Amazon Hubs room. So as you can see, this is just a portion of what we get daily. All of these have to be scanned manually, stored on a shelf. Then when the resident arrives, picked up by the concierge, we do this all day during the holidays. It's very taxing, but I think worse, it's just unsightly. It's already small. we want a better solution. So we're preparing this room here where along this wall right here, there will just be mailboxes with your packages, right? So you order from Amazon, and once the packet has been delivered, let's say in box 20, you get a notification, and you receive a message or email or a text, and then you just put the little QR code, and then the door opens. Grab your package, and you're on your way. And our staff have not had to do much in this. Now, initially, once this is installed, and it could be as early as 2 weeks from now, just heads up, we will start slow. We will train, our concierge will be there for you for a while. If you feel good about it, go. There are potential downsides of this, right? If you open the door and then you just close the door and leave the package in, it won't reopen. So there's a couple of things there. We want everybody to feel very comfortable with this. Packages that are too big will not go in there. We have space for that. We know the habits of the community and what we get. We can still, our valet can still deliver to you, be it too heavy or too large, not a problem. All right, we don't want to make this a headache. We want to make this a solution. So this will free up concierge time quite a bit. They will have plenty of time to help. If you feel good, you feel confident with your mobile device, and you've been shown once and you're good, that's great. If you need to be shown a few times, no problem. We'll be there for you as long as it takes. All right. So more to come on that. More of my fun letters. So this is, as you enter the community, it's on the left-hand side. So it's a small room currently. We have a few mobility devices there, scooters, and there will still be room for that. But the room in and of itself now, this facility square footage is really taxed. There's no free space anywhere. We have this. And I'm chatting with some of my peers, other executive directors, and they're a little jealous. They don't have that. They have that space, but it's at the other end of the community. And the Amazon guys don't want to go, or gals don't want to go there. It's too far. So it lends itself well. We're going to give it a shot. We hope it works. I think it will. And if it doesn't, then we can always revert. But we will be there. The concierge will be them. We'll be there. And you love them. You like 99% of them. All right, great. All right, so that's Amazon. So upcoming in December, unsightly packages greatly diminished, more resident independence, concierge will assist, and initial individual training for residents. We'll do all this. We'll decide if we start before the holidays or after. We'll see how things go because there's a lot of packages. We don't want this to be a poor experience, so we'll go slow with that. All right, I had a quick sales slide. So bottom story here is that we have exceeded. So this is, once again, at the end of September, the budget was 26 and we have 29 sales that are projected to come in. So kudos to the sales team and meeting these goals. Sales are obviously vital to the continued life of the community here. And so this, the process continues with new move-ins. So great work, sales. For those who have not met John, he's our, how about you come right here, John? Come on up. I'm going to embarrass him for a second or make his face turn red a little bit. So, all right, you have your speech? Just kidding. You don't have to say anything. This is John Neubauer's our new director of sales. Just wanted to welcome. Thank you. That's it. No speech. He's going to try to sell you something. All right. I think that's all I have. Questions? We have microphones here, so they're coming to you.
Yannick, this goes back to the satisfaction survey, the engagement score.
Yep.
I went out and looked at the website for the analytics firm that does this, and they define that as being the top 2 quintiles. Am I saying that correct? So it's anybody who gave it a good or a very good, that percentage represents that.
Yep, that's your 4 and 5s. That's the top quintiles would be your 4 and 5s. Now, it is a culmination in addition of each of the questions. They all work by quintiles. Of course, they're all 1 to 5. So all the questions, and by the way, every question on the survey is weighed differently. One of them are 1.2. Another question is 1.4 weight. Another one is 0.8. So thank you, David.
What's the difference between the participation and the engagement?
So participation is how many people took the survey. The engagement is, once again, the culmination of all scores, okay? And all weighted differently.
Would you introduce the rest of your staff?
Yeah, so come on up. Come on up. I'm proud of them. I love them all. Thank you. Thank you. This is Renee in Lifestyle. What's your name? Just kidding. This is Michelle. She's our Senior Director of Accounting. It's Melanie, our Care Center. I think most of you probably know her. And then Greg Beckley. Hello, Greg. Yeah, Robert, come on up. So, you know, a face maybe that you don't see as much, but it's a critical face in this community. It's Amanda right here, our Director of Nursing. All right, everybody has a tomato in hand ready for Robert. Now, Robert is great. Robert Davis, our Director of Engineering. And Jason Halvai, it's pronounced Halvai. Do I say it right? Yeah, finally. Like Hawaii, Halvai. Director of Resident Services, and John Neubauer, Director of Sales. So they advance this community. So other questions, you all stay up. I have time for 2 more. How's that? And then I'll stick around for additional questions. Yep.
What's the comparison between the original budget on this recent remodel and the final cost?
Yes, that's a very good question. So I still don't have final numbers, right? But so this remodel initially started, and this was years ago now, with 1.7 million on the budget. That's what it was going to cost. Now, some time elapsed. There were some delays. And then once we got ready for construction, we had a couple of years of bad inflation. It went to about 2.5 million. Yes, so this was the number that we started with. We're still waiting to have final numbers on total cost. So we do feel like, based on what we're seeing now, that we'll come in pretty close to the budget there. Good question. Yep, these projects are very expensive. As you can see, so far at the end of September, the contribution for capital projects was a little over $1 million. So it takes some years to repay these large projects, right? Usually look at this in 10-year periods. Yes.
On the care center, you said an increase of 5.8%. What does that involve?
In the care center, 5.8, we had a 4%.
5.8.
Yeah, so it's for private payers, meaning they're not members of the community. They're coming on a private pay. They don't even use Medicare insurance. They pay out of pocket. So we're increasing that fee by 4%. It was more last year. So we took the foot off the pedal a little bit. We feel competitive. If we go too high on this, we're just going to lose the private payers. There's an advantage to us when we have a free bed in skilled nursing or assisted living or memory. To have a private payer come in, it's advantageous for us. All right, folks, thank you. Thank you. Have a nice evening. Thank you.